Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is J'en Restyle Fashion. Come with me thrifting in the Haight in San Francisco. Come on, let's get into it. Hey you guys. Well, we finally made it to Haight Street and it's so colorful. There's a lot of energy out here. I have only got a couple of hours because I have so much else that I need to do today, but I could not come all the way to San Francisco and not take you all around with me. So I don't even know where to start. So we're just gonna pop into any store that seems like it looks fun. So this one here, this is, I think, called Love Thrift Artist Collection. Let me turn the camera around. All right, so I'm gonna clip this mic on and we're gonna get started and see where today's adventure takes us. Okay, so they have rules on the outside of the store. Okay, so this store is Love on Haight. So let's go in. As soon as I walked in, it was like sensory overload. Everything in the store was tie-dyed by different artists in the San Francisco area. Amazing. Hi, this is amazing.
Isn't it fun?
Wow, I never even would have thought of anything like that. Like everything is tie-dyed. This place is incredible. So it's not a thrift store, so we're not gonna hang out here too long. But everything is tie-dyed. Everything was separated by overalls, sweatpants, jogging jackets, skirts, you name it. If you want something tie-dyed, this is the place to go. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So they're super sweet in the store. And they gave me this little sticker. All right, so what was interesting, she gave me some information on the store, and I believe I put it in the voiceover. So I hope I'm going the right way. Just make sure that the numbers are going up. Yeah, because the addresses that I looked at started at 1400 and they were going up. And I'm so hungry, but I'm trying not to not be focused. All right, so I see another t-shirt store and I'm looking, I don't see, where are the thrift stores? I'll keep looking. So next I headed down the street about a block and a half. It was nice to just kind of look around San Francisco and see how the streets and everything are laid out. And then I ran across this store called Protocol and popped in here. This was actually a really good store. It was a bit pricey, but honestly, everything in San Francisco is pricey. I thought the store was very nicely laid out. They had pieces. So if you were looking for a blouse or a particular type of jean, like here I have a camisole, you can find pieces there. This piece right here, Stunning. Looks like an upcycle piece. Dainty, but also a little touch of masculine. I thought that was nice. They had quite a few sweatshirts, t-shirts, like this Sex and the City shirt. Almost bought it. But I'm not a big t-shirt person, and with it not being summer, it's kind of hard for me to wrap my head around that. They had some nice sweaters. They do accept goods on consignment, but I'm not sure like what the price breakdown is. Like, do they take half or whatever? Wasn't sure. I thought they had a nice selection of shoes, a lot of Sam Edelman, a lot of Nine West. This particular pair of boots, I almost came home with it, but I already have a pair. Same color, but they're not a low boot like that. Anyway, I also took a look around at some of the leather jackets. This particular thrift store, I felt, had a good selection of 3/4 length leather jackets and men's leather jackets. Again, if you're in the Bay Area, you look at the Thrift, I would definitely stop by Protocol. They also had some upcycle pieces that you could tell either somebody is, having their pieces displayed there, or maybe they, donated it, but whatever the case, really nice. Very nice, like little couch area. Everything's very nicely organized, and the staff was super sweet. Yep, I had to go back and take another look at this top because it was just too cute. Next, I walked right across the street and there was a Goodwill on the corner. So I had to stop by and see what they had to offer. Given the prices at the other stores in the area, I figured Goodwill was going to be super reasonable and pretty well stocked. And I was right. So as soon as I walked in, I looked at shoes. They had a great selection of flats, sandals. Of course, we're in San Francisco. It does get cool, but it doesn't get cold like it does in Chicago. So people, are wearing shorts on any given day. If it's 70 degrees, people are likely wearing shorts that day. Anyway, they had a lot of nice pieces. They also had quite a bit of vintage. I found these vintage pants. I almost got them, and then I was like, what am I going to do with peach plaid? Nothing. I thought this was a standout piece, and it gave me upcycling vibes. Did not buy it, but if I lived in San Francisco and I was looking for an upcycle project, that would be it. This was an H&M dress, a Zara dress, still had tags on it. Here's another vintage dress. This one was silk. I was so tempted to get it and make it into a shirt. I'm really kind of sad I left it behind. And then I went over to the men's section and started looking at some of these suit jackets to see if I saw anything that kind of stood out to me. Nothing really. It was hard pressed trying to find something in there that was like a showstopper. I did see this kind of plaid gray. In hindsight, I wish I would have picked it up because there's a design that I want to make and I need an oversized jacket, but I'm going thrifting when I get back to Chicago to work on my Goodwill campaign, so I left that one right there. And then I ran across a rack that was near the checkout counter, and it just had some random pieces on there. This particular jacket or sweater, I just like the fabric. I thought, wow, you've got kind of a rickrack and then leopard print. I like that. Okay, so we have been to two stores. We went to Protocol Vintage, then Goodwill was right across the street, so I just popped in there. We may go back to protocol because I actually saw a couple things in there that I might like. So we're going to keep walking down Haight Street and see what we run into. All right, we are here at Wasteland. We've been to Wasteland in Los Angeles, but this is the first time in San Francisco, so let's go in. Wow. Chanel's $5.50. ISLs are $3.50. All right, if you didn't know, Wasteland is a store that I think it's like a higher end luxury consignment store, primarily based in the West Coast. So there's one in LA. I went there last year or the year before last. And then this is the first time I've obviously been to the one in San Francisco. Lovely designer dresses, designer shoes, just designer period. I think the prices are pretty reasonable. This black lace dress, oh my gosh, I was loving it. If I could find something like that in a vintage kind of piece, I would totally buy it and upcycle it. They had so many good sweaters and so many good sweater dresses, designer. The prices range. Most of the sweaters are around, I would say like $200. This is a Gucci Adidas collab. $7.50. This dress has everything that I love. Pleats, sheer, asymmetric cut on the neck. It's black, it's gold, drop waist. Man. This was a very kind of Jean Paul Gaultier type dress, and I thought that was nice. Of course, it was green and one of my favorite colors. I gravitate towards a lot of green, so you're going to see me pick up a lot of green. I'm also embracing purple and magenta and lavender and things like that. I saw this blazer, and for the life of me, I don't know why I left it behind. It was so substantial, had a great weight to it. It was either was it House of Harlow? I can't remember the name of it. And this dress was giving me all kind of Chanel vibes. I love the way the collar was made. I think this dress was around $428. It was so heavy and structured on the inside to give that hip effect, that like hourglass. I really need to make something like that instead of trying to buy it. I still continue to look at a lot of the dresses. You know, everything's organized by size. So if you know you're an 8, go to the 8 section and check it out. Then I headed back to the back where they have shoes. And basically this store is laid out very similarly to the one in Los Angeles. So it's just a little smaller, but it's basically laid out the same. I found all kinds of boots, collaboration pieces. And that's the thing about shopping consignment, is that you're gonna find pieces that you can't find everywhere because people have bought these one-offs, maybe runway pieces, and then they've worn it for a couple of years and then they're done. That's when you come in and grab all the goodies. This was a vintage dress section that I was just in love with. $38. These are like vintage. Like, I feel like these are the types of dresses that you buy to upcycle. 'Cause you're not wearing this. This is really pretty. If I had room in my luggage, I would buy at least one and upcycle it for you guys. Once again, back at the shoes, checking out the Chanel. The price was not bad, and the shoe was not bad either. If I lived there, I would totally shop Wasteland regularly for my designer goods. I could definitely see myself going back and getting those Chanel mules. They were only $260. I'm sure on some other platforms they'd be way more than that. This was a Dries Van Noten shoe, and it is just lovely. The heel is sick. Dries Van Noten, $250. So this is Burberry. It's interesting. This was a Zara bomber jacket. It was fully lined in like that heavy kind of shearling type fabric. So beautiful. And I think they wanted like $200 for it. Really? It's Zara. Every piece I picked up was just top tier. This Dior sheer shirt, could definitely see myself rocking that. I ran across this tube dress with fringe at the bottom, and I looked at it and I looked at it and I looked at it, and y'all, eventually I put it back. I wish I would have picked it up and brought it home with me, because it's perfect for a casual dinner. You know, you just want to throw something on. And this dress, I love the black corset with the green peplum and the cream bottom. Just chef's kiss. I can see myself putting those colors together for sure. I love this asymmetrical sweater dress. It reminds me of something that I have in my closet that I made. This long sweater dress with like a trumpet bottom. Love it. Love all of these down. Next up, right across the street, was Indigo Vintage. So I decided to pop in there. I see so many of these lining jackets. I don't know what those are about. This was clearly a rather small, curated selection of clothing. You can kind of tell that the owner has a type. There wasn't a whole lot of variety. There were mostly jackets with like the rib neck and the rib sleeve and the rib bottom. There were jeans, some were painted on. There were jackets. Kind of gave you a Marshall's feel. I know that sounds weird, but that's kind of how I felt like. I felt like I was in a Marshall's. Anyway, she had some great jeans hanging up in the back, so I did take a look at those. I was looking for particular colors, so I'm looking for green denim, black denim, blue denim, yeah, maybe, but mostly those colors. Staff was really nice here. She also had some local pieces in the center, like candles and plates and things like that. So I thought that was great that you know, other designers or other makers from the community could have a place where everyday people can purchase their pieces. I looked a long time at this leather jacket. Eventually, I passed on it. Then I stepped into, I believe, which was my final, no, next to last stop. And this store, as soon as you walked in, you thought you were in kind of an arcade, photo booth type atmosphere, very vintagey. And then you walk into kind of a newer pieces section, glass, sunglasses, boots, shoes, not a lot in this space. And then the back room is where you find all the treasures. So the back room is where I was finding all kinds of blouses and jackets and denim jackets. And I'm always amazed at the prices on these denim jackets. It's like, really? Skirt is $145. Jacket is $145. Nice fabric. $55. It's like a long red one. This is Victoria's Secret Vintage, $57. It's a nice oversized corduroy jacket, $75. This is a beautiful vintage dress. It looks like it's sun-stained, but they want $375 for it because it's a Oscar de la Renta. My goodness gracious, it's sun damaged. So pretty. Oh, y'all remember these? All right, you all. I think we have time for one more store. Yeah, this store had a little bit of everything. I thought it was interesting how when you first walk in the store, it's very upbeat and lively and very youthful. And then once you get to the back, most of the pieces in the back have a very mature feel, okay? And then the middle room has more new and then some men's vintage. So it's a very interesting layout. Yeah, they have dressing rooms in there. I tried on a pair of sunglasses. I think I grabbed those, and then I just wanted to take another look at the photo booths, which, by the way, cost about $10. All right, so that was Collective Vintage, and it was cute. Small curated collection. I'm gonna try to do one more, and then I think we're gonna head home. Let's see, Big Time. I usually don't go in stores where I just see a lot of like jackets and sweatshirts and things like that. So this one is Suede. Oh, the dress in the window is gorgeous. So I think this is called Suede Vintage and Contemporary. So let's see, let's go in. Some reason or another, I turned off the camera, so we're gonna go back in and look at these beautiful pieces. This is gorgeous. Oh my gosh. How much is that? Everything about that is me all day. $758. That is gorgeous. with the skirt. Let's see how much the skirt is. $128 from the 70s. And I've got a bin of stuff up here. Different dresses in. I don't know if they're marked down or not. This is a dress in the window. This was another store that I felt really captured the vintage style that I like. Like, I love mixing a high-end vintage piece with like a newer, more contemporary piece and just playing on the eras. I really enjoy that. This fur was fabulous. They had so many great things in this store. I would definitely go back. That's pretty. Isn't it pretty? That was a velvet purple skirt, and I could totally see that with like some boots, a jean jacket. So nice. Leather embossed. Like these little clutches. Little snake skin. That's nice. This one's nice too. This store had all kinds of vintage boots in really good condition, heels not worn down, name brands, some luxury pieces, quite a few like cowboy boots, but very unique designs. This is a boot that is along a vintage style. I believe when I looked at the label, it was vintage. Yeah, this was a good spot. Like, I needed a little more time in here. What is that? 165, 501's rework. This last store that I went in felt so crowded. There were so many people in it. But the other thing is that it's super narrow. And when I walked in, I was like, this place feels familiar. And I realized it's 2nd Street Vintage. And we have a 2nd Street Vintage here in Chicago. I think I took you guys there last year. But if you are looking for a really good item that is priced right, this is your stop. Now, they might have stuff locked up and you're going to have to dig for it. But if you want the stylish pieces, you're going to get them from 2nd Street at an excellent price. I mean, I had to take a double take on some pieces. A bunch of designer bags up here. Here's a Gucci. Whoa. But here's a Gucci for $200. They're attached, so I can't pull it down. Oh my God, this place must have really good deals because it is so crowded in here. They had all kinds of skirts and pants and what have you. Mostly everything was organized by size and color. So that's really makes it easy to navigate. They had a few winter coats, but mostly denim jackets, suit jackets, not really a lot of like puffer jackets. They did have some trench coats and things like that. Again, very crowded. Yes, they do have dressing rooms, but people were just changing clothes in the aisle because I guess that's just a thing to do. I'm still kind of looking around at these denim jackets with the fleece lining in them. That one was $40. That was one of the less expensive ones that I've seen. Didn't get to go in here twice as nice, but it looks really interesting. The lady in the store was not very friendly, so I didn't spend much time in there. But this is what's in the window. Really like novelty pieces. A lot of Azalea Wang. Saw a coat in there. Lots of leopard coats. I love this little saying, our clothes have less milers than your ex. San Francisco, it's been great. Well, you guys, that is a wrap for today's video. I headed out to the airport the next morning, and while I was in the airport, there was an exhibit there called Women of Afro-Tourism. So I read up on that and I took a little video, and I thought it was really interesting. You should Google it and check it out. Or if you're in the Bay Area and you come in through SFO, this exhibit will be up, I believe, for the next couple months. But I thought it was extremely interesting. All right, you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.